So you said you'd do something, and the time comes to do it, and your mind is on everything but the task in front of you. What do you do when you feel like that? I know we've all felt like that. Well, let's talk about what I do, and hopefully this will help you. The last time I felt distracted was when I was supposed to write a bunch of tweets for a launch of a SaaS that we were doing, and I really didn't want to do it. It was on the task list to do, and I just really didn't want to do it. I was getting distracted. I was working on other tasks. It wasn't really bad because this is how I handle distraction. What do you do when you get distracted? Is you work on other high-value tasks. Just because the to-do list says you have to do this thing on this day does not necessarily mean you have to do that thing on that day. So the way that I deal with distraction is having flexibility in the work assignments that I have. So for instance, at the beginning of the week, let's say I have a couple things I have to do. I have to film YouTube videos. I have to write tweets, although I never actually put that on my to-do list. I have to send cold email campaigns. I have to write or optimize some campaigns. I have to do coaching calls. There's all this stuff I have to do. Maybe if we're recording a new course, I have to record the course or approve the structure and flow of that. Or we have to make a new hire. Like the next task I have to do is write a cold email campaign for recruiting for our own internal sales teams. And so I have all those things and they're laid out, and typically our project manager even sends me calendar invites to block out my calendar to work on those specific tasks. And most of the time I do those tasks on those days and there's no problem. But having that flexibility helps. So let's say, I'm really feeling distracted on Tuesday. I don't want to write the cold email campaigns. Well, then I can review a course, or then I can do, one of the other tasks that I have. In the week, there's maybe 5 or 4 high-value tasks that I'm supposed to do, and understanding and recognizing that those don't actually have to happen on certain days really helps with distraction. Now, some of us are working in situations where they think that's not possible. I have to write this email to the list today because my deadline's today. Well, the issue is not the deadline. The issue is your project management. If I have an email to write to the list, I'll have written it weeks ago and I'll have batched the content, similar to the tweet threads that we're writing when we promote our SaaS products. If I have to promote, let's say, one new tweet thread a day for a week, then you bet I'm sitting down 2 weeks before that and I'm writing all 7 tweet threads in like 2 hours because I don't want to be thinking about it. I don't give myself a chance to be distracted. And guess what? If I'm distracted of writing those tweet threads every single day for that week and then blast them all out on that Friday, guess what? I still have 7 tweet threads ready to go and queued for that time. So a lot of the distraction comes from that. It's like you have a deadline and you're forced to work before that deadline. So if you just give yourself more time before the deadline, then you're good to go. And you might be like me. I am a procrastinator as well. If something has a deadline, I'll do that thing on the exact day that it's due. But the deadlines are all self-imposed, meaning I will set a date arbitrarily for the thing. Let's say the launch is on May 3rd. I don't think of May 3rd as the day the thing's due. I think of April 25th as the day the thing is due. And then I push that. And because I'm my own boss and the only person that holds me accountable is me, then I hold myself to that April 25th deadline and it gets done on April 25th. Because I don't even think the launch date is irrelevant to me with this task. The only thing that matters is the due date of the actual task itself. So that is the way to eliminate distraction, is give yourself a little more leeway, but also hold your tasks accountable. Also hold yourself accountable for completing the tasks. This goes for your side business too. I'm always so impressed by people, whatever the opposite of impressed is. I'm always so the opposite of impressed by people who will give 110% into their own tasks that their bosses assign them, but they never work on their own tasks. So let's say you really want to write a book and you put off writing a book your entire life, but your boss assigns you to write a book and you write it in 2 days. That's very disappointing to me because you are also your boss as well. And you could have assigned yourself to write this book for your own needs weeks ago or whatever, years ago, and you could have done it. And some people just don't realize that. They treat their own self-appointed tasks as way less important than tasks assigned by their bosses. And it just doesn't make any sense because you're living your life. If you have goals, if you have something you want to do, you're the only one responsible for doing it. It's not like you can sit around and then someday someone's going to be like, oh, you know that dream that you never told anybody else about? Yeah, dude, we're going to do that. Like, no one's going to do that except you. Literally, you are the one that could do that today. Set a goal, set a deadline, and work on your own tasks the same way that you would work on tasks for your job. You don't miss deadlines at work, so why are you missing deadlines in your actual life? It legit does not make logical sense to me at all. And that's why I guess I am where I am, doing the things I do, because I am my boss. Even when I had bosses, I was my boss. I just happened to have the same goals and alignment as my boss at the time, and that's why I did the tasks. But really, even the last office job I had at the New York agency, the only reason I was doing the proposals and trying to hit the sales goal and all that stuff was, one, so that I would learn enough to start my own agency, and two, so that I would have the case studies to continue trading up. Because I'm a big fan of using your case studies and your wins to get bigger wins in the future. That's how you get exponential growth in your career and your life. So that's what I was doing the whole time. And yeah, my boss is going to come to me and be like, Alex, you hitting your sales goal, but of course I'm hitting my sales goal because I already had that conversation with myself 2 weeks before he even thought to ask me. So that's the way you do it. That's how you avoid getting distracted. And that's what I do when I get distracted. I set my own goals and I make stuff happen, but I also add enough flexibility so that if I do feel distracted, I'm able to work on something else. You never want to be in a situation where you have to do one thing today and it's a very specific thing, or else something really bad will happen. Because if you're in that mindset, and if that's happening to you, then that's when you start feeling the procrastination. That's when you start feeling the burnout. That's when you start feeling the distraction. But if you add just a little bit of freedom, even if you don't take advantage of the freedom and you end up doing the same task on the same days, you'll end up getting a lot more done and feeling better about the work. What do you do when you get distracted? Let me know down below in the comments. Would love to get a conversation going. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to smash that like button to encourage this type of content on YouTube. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.